Hey guys, JP here from Trails and Details, and welcome to episode 2 of the Toyota Starlet. Part 1 was of course the revival, where I used my detailing skills to kind of bring the car back to life. And today is part 2, where I basically take it on a road trip before I sell it. So without further ado, let's go. Alright guys, and before we get started on our road trip, I want to fill the car up with gas real quick and also give it a quick rinse so the car is nice and shiny. So let's start with that. Alright guys, here we go. Our first proper trip in the Toyota Starlet. Now of course I've already drove it from where I bought it to the garage and a few times in between, but I've never drove it this much. I'm probably gonna drive for maybe a few hours, a few hundred kilometers, see how she performs. Gonna see some places. I'm excited. Let's see if the 25-year-old Econo box will last. There's only one way to find out. And that is to drive. I've been driving for about, give or take, half an hour, a little more than half an hour now. So I think it's time for a little status report on the Toyota Starlet, as I have to change to the lift lane because I need to go to Arnhem. That's where we're going right now. So far, the car's been performing great. I mean, sure, it is an Econo box, it's from the 90s, it's very thin, which means it also doesn't have the best isolation. So yes, on the highway, not exactly the most silent car. But it is quite comfortable. I mean, the seats are pretty good so far. It steers great, drives great. Of course, there are some creature comforts missing, like AC, which I think was an option on this car, but this particular one doesn't have it. And of course, I would like an armrest, you know, something for me to rest my arm on. But what this car does have, it has no power steering. And because of that, the steering wheel is very large, and because of that, I can actually rest my right hand on my leg and kind of like steer very carefully as you do on the highway, just ever so slightly, just rest it there. So that's actually kind of a pretty comfortable driving position, if you will. So far she's been performing great. Sounds fine, engine runs great, temperature's fine, no weird noises. So far, I'm happy with the car. So let's continue. It's time for a quick little break with some coffee and a snack, and recharge, and then we'll get back on the road. Alright guys, here we go. We'll do a little 1 to 60. I'm gonna start, and in the video I'll show how much time it takes. So here we go. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Ooh. Second. Third, here we go. man. 100. Yeah! Feel the grunt of the 1.3. Nice. Now, this wouldn't be a road trip through the Netherlands without a little bit of a traffic jam. I mean, right now I'm driving 20 kilometers an hour. Traffic's kind of stopping and then going and then stopping and going. I mean, it is what it is. That's what you get when you go through the Netherlands, unless you drive, I don't know, on a Saturday evening or something like that. It is what it is. It's not too bad, but yeah, a little bit of a shame. But then again, what do you expect? I mean, the Netherlands counts almost, I think, 18 million people now on a piece of land that is smaller than, I believe, the city of London, I think. Kinda. Not sure, but it's a lot of people for a little bit of land. So it is to be expected. Oh well, we'll get through there.
And as we get closer to Arnhem, I decided to go off the highway and drive through Oosterbeek, a very nice town with some very fancy houses, as you can see here in the footage. Once I reached Arnhem and headed south, you take this very unique 450-degree right turn in order to get over the river, which I always thought was pretty cool when my parents drove here with me in the back seat. Across the river and in the suburbs of Arnhem, there are some very beautiful sights to behold. Also, during my rest stop there, I ran into this little fella right here.
Okay guys, it's time for a little detour because my phone is getting low in terms of battery, a little bit at least. But I have a power bank with me and a charging cable and also something for my car. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, both of those don't work. It's probably the cable, so I'm gonna find a grocery store, get a new cable. I mean, it's worth trying out. New cable's like, what, $5? And let's hope if that fixes it, because I don't want to run out of battery. That'll be bad. Okay, so the grocery store was no success, so I'm gonna keep on looking. Hopefully there's another shop here. Alright guys, good news. The Primera, which is a Dutch shop, had one. As you can see, cable, power bank, and it's charging. I paid $15 for the cable, which I know is horrifically overpriced for a simple USB Type-C cable. But hey, at least my phone is now charging, and it was a bit of a last minute purchase because for some reason my old cable just died. It's kind of weird. But hey, I got power again, so let's continue.
Things you wanna feel, I'll give you anything to feel it coming. Do you wake up on your own? I wonder where you are and live with all your faults. I wanna wake up where you are. I won't say anything at all, so why don't you smile?
Alright, and so far I've been on the road for give or take 3 hours now. Now, of course, I wasn't always driving. I had to make a detour to fix a cable. Of course, I stepped out and got myself some coffee. I walked around a little bit, of course. So, but so far, I've done over 100 miles or so. Car is still performing beautifully. Nothing wrong, no weird noises, so It's still unbelievable that I'm driving a 25-year-old Econobox, which I bought for $600. I didn't have to fix anything mechanically. All I did was cosmetically. And it just drives like a dream. There's literally nothing wrong with this car. So far, it's going good. I'm not home yet. We still have, give or take, 2 hours left, 2.5 hours, I think, of our little road trip. But I think she's gonna make it.
Don't you love the life you kill? The priest is on the phone. Your father hit the wall. Your mom disowned you. Don't suppose I'll ever know. So means to be a man, or something I can change. I live around here. I wanna wake up where you are. I won't say anything at all. So why don't you slide?
Alright, now if you're wondering how I'm able to make these shots, well, not of course using my hands while driving, well, let me show you. It's literally a like $10 Amazon AliExpress phone holder with some double-sided tape, because if I put it in horizontally, it will just fall out like that. So that's how I record the footage. It's very ghetto, but it works. So hey, very ingenious.
After a bit more driving, I stopped to treat myself to some very fancy dinner. And then it was off to travel further north into Flevoland, a province that was almost completely man-made by the Dutch in order to raise more land for living. And afterwards I decided to cross the sea from Flevoland to the province of North Holland on a road that was built in the middle of two giant lakes called Markermeer and IJsselmeer. The road is actually quite long, and it was a beautiful thing to behold, as again, this is completely man-made.
Your path in life is what you write.
You know, I'm glad I took this route because this is definitely something to behold. It is absolutely beautiful. You just look around you. The weather is not the greatest right now, but wow, that is awesome.
And once I crossed the Markermeer and IJsselmeer and into the province of Northern Holland, it was as simple as drive south back home.
So the highway we're driving on right now is one where you're allowed to go 100 between 6 in the morning until 7 in the afternoon. Now it's almost 9 o'clock in the evening, which means we're allowed to go 130. So let's see what that sounds like in this little car. Here we go. We're accelerating. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is quite... And this is give or take 130. Yeah, this is quite noisy. It's going pretty fast, but doing this for like 3 hours, man. Still though, it doesn't really feel like the engine is struggling or the car is about to fall apart, but it's just very dramatic because it's first of all, it's not a highway car. And second of all, it's not built for high speeds at all. It's more of a city car. It's very flimsy. So it's doable, but I advise you to bring a pair of like good noise cancelling headphones if you ever want to do this in a Starlet. But there you go. It was fun to do.
Dirty town.
Alright guys, this is my last stop. I need to go to the bathroom real quick. From here on out, it's a straight dash to home. And I also picked up this, which Dutch people might know, but you might not. It is Dutch car licorice. If you're ever in the Netherlands, go ahead and pick it up. But for now, let's go ahead and start driving. Oh yeah. Very nice. Let's go.
Wish I were with you, but I couldn't stay. Every direction leads me away. Pray for tomorrow, but for today. To be home.
Well guys, I'm home. And yes, the Starlet made it. I mean, I am genuinely impressed how this little car performed, considering it's a 25-year-old, actually 26-year-old Econo box. These things were supposed to be throwaway items that you would use for 8-10 years or something and then just get rid of. But here it is, 26 years later, and it performs beautifully. It never skipped a beat. It always fired up like just right away, and it sounded just happy. The temperature was always cool. No weird noises. It shifted great. I'm just, you know, people always say that these cars are very well known for their legendary reliability, and well, as it turns out, they're right. This was amazing. I had so much fun on the road trip, and I hope you had fun watching it. Now, of course, this is part 2, which is the road trip, and we're gonna have a last part 3, which is of course me selling the car and seeing if I still made a profit. Now, whether that will be the case, we'll see, but either way, I had a blast doing this, fixing the car up cosmetically, taking out for a road trip, and like I said, it performed surprisingly well, so I'm really happy I did this. So I will see you guys soon in part 3 where I try and sell the car, but for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.